As we start this one out, I just want to kind of go through with you guys so that way you see exactly which one is correct. Number one, what did you come up with?
HL.
Angle, side, angle. Again, you were given an angle, a side, and an angle. There's your angle, side, angle. Two, what do you have to mark your diagram with? The shared side. Remember what we called shared side? Reflexive, good. So we have a reflexive side, it's shared. So now we have side, angle, side. Don't you sass me. What about the next one? Very good. It is also a shared side. There's a reflexive part here between AC, and it gives us side, side, side. Okay? We have a right triangles again, but does it necessarily mean we're going to have hypotenuse leg? No, but what can I do? I do my reflexive here, and I have side, angle, side. Or since I do my reflexive, can I also use hypotenuse leg? Yeah. There's a couple things you can do here. But no matter what, you have to use that reflexive property to show that that's going to be congruent. That's going to become more prevalent today when we actually do a real proof and how you write that down. It's very, very easy. I just want to make sure you guys see how to do that. So your side, angle, side, or, okay. What about 5?
5.
No congruence, right? There's nothing there. I cannot say with certainty that YZ is going to be the same thing as BC. I don't know. I have no idea. Okay, I have no idea. There's nothing I can do about that. What about 6? There's reflexive, but look what happens. There's nothing you can do there, is there? The answer is nope. Or you can make a big frowny face.
What's number 6 though? That's kind of weird. Why? I see things that are marked. Why is it no congruence? Someone wants to say it.
Because it doesn't spell. It's not supposed to spell
There's no X in there.
Wasn't that like the greatest day ever?
That was my favorite day of my life.
What?
Well, I hope you had better days in your life, but as far as geometry is concerned, that was a pretty good day in geometry. I'm going to go out on a limb and say that you're going to have some really good days in your life.
I'll never forget that.
You'll never forget it though, which makes me feel good.
Well, I would
What's
one
up?
day, the day that you said there's no
Isn't that the same thing as,
It's a backwards.
isn't your ass backwards?
Oh my goodness. There's no
backwards
Or a backwards ass.
Nope.
Right.
When you think about it, it's just wrong.
How you just said that is just great. You're so nonchalant, but so there's no ass or backwards ass? Okay. Is she right? All right, great.
There is no
All right. 7, what do you have to mark? Vertical angles, very good. We have to mark vertical angles. Remember, vertical angles are on your progression sheet. They are something that you're going to be able to state without having to be given them. They are something that is what we call an observation from a diagram. So you get good old-fashioned. Who's asking?
You guys, I always say look for the X when it comes to vertical angles.
Yep.
It sounds silly, but.
Anytime you see that little bow tie looking thing, there's always going to be a vertical angle.
Bow tie pasta.
We had pasta and chicken last night. Delicious. 8, what do we got? Is there an ass in math? No. Nope. 9. 9 was the first one you actually had to do some thinking to. So, how many degrees are in a triangle? 180. So now we have 60, 61. What's left over for down here? It's 59. Very good. Which means 60, 59, and 61. So we have a whole bunch of angles that are the same. What do they share? They have a reflexive side, so you get, whoa, there's no side, side, side. Angle, side, side, angle, or angle, angle, side. Angle, side, angle works here. Or you can also say angle, angle, side. Now, here's one little thing that I don't know if we're going to really have to show and prove or anything like that. Let me ask you guys this. If two angles are congruent in a triangle, that means there's only a certain amount of degrees that are left over for that triangle, correct? So if you have two angles, you know, we had 61 and 61, 60 and 60, what's left for that third angle? Has to be 59 for both of them. So basically what happens here, guys, is that there is a little theorem. It's called third angle theorem. It tells you that if you have two angles that are already congruent in a triangle, the third ones have to be congruent. It's not one that we use a lot, so it's not one that I really defined a whole bunch of times because it's not really all there, but it's very easy to see when you're doing like algebra. Okay? 10, parallel lines. Remember, we did the example of 11 with parallel lines. I will tell you this a ton. You have that reflexive there right away. That's easy. When you have parallel lines, think about it in terms of parallel lines cut by a transversal. You get alternate interior angles. You guys okay with that? And then turn your head sideways, and you have parallel lines again. And you get another set of alternate interior angles. And you get then what?
Side.
I only have one side, my friend. Angle, side, angle. Very good. We got angle, side, angle in this case. Okay. You get angle, side, angle.
Guys, extend those lines out if you can, because it helps you see it better, helps you see what angles you can mark. Like the number 11, ew.
We did that one in class.
We did that one in class.
You will see that flag set up like that. Does everybody agree that it looks like two flags? Two like pennants, if you will?
Like every video.
Hey, Mr. Murphy. Flags doesn't usually look like that. They usually have one big triangle.
Well, these are, if you think of this in terms of a pennant, pennant flags are usually triangular shaped, and you see them a lot. I will give you guys a little bit of a hint.
Yes.
A lot of times, guys, a lot of times when you see this diagram shows up a lot. These angles are the same, and these are going to be the same because of corresponding angles. Parallel lines cut by a transversal, corresponding angles congruent. That pattern happens over and over and over and over again with that type of a diagram. You want to tuck that away in the back of your head, that when you see the pendant style, or pennant, pendant? Pennant. Pennant. Pendant is what you wear, right? I'm so fashionable, I know these things. 12. On 12 we have obviously vertical angles around B. Parallel lines cut by transversals going both directions are going to give you alternate interior angles here and here.
What was number 11?
Angle, side, angle. We did that one in class the other day. Bless you. Bless you. But now in number 12, is there anything that tells us about angle, angle, angle? No. So this one cannot be shown that they're congruent because we don't have something in our alphabet soup called angle, angle, angle. Those two triangles in about a month will be called similar. We'll have common factors and ratios and things like that, and we will come back to this diagram and do that one later with scale factor. It's just cross multiplying the fractions. It's not really difficult. That one has nothing, correct? And the last three. Excuse me.
Wait, so 11 and
11 was angle side angles. We did that one in our notes. 12 was no congruence. 13, again, we have AC as reflexive. We have our parallel lines. We have a transversal, which gives us the angle, the interior angles here. Is there anything, if you look at one diagram as you're going through, start at the angle, you have angle, side, side. That's not good. And the other one you have side, angle, side. Are those triangles congruent? Nope.
why couldn't we just try angle side?
Because it's side angle side on the triangle on the bottom, but the triangle on the top is side side angle. And they'll do that to you sometimes with these quick pictures, okay? When we get into the actual proof stuff, it'll say prove something happens. That'll work. This is just getting you in the habit of marking diagrams. 14 again, we have parallel lines, transversal. We get these two guys, and reflexive, and you get
Side angle side.
very good. Side angle side. Then last but not least is a very simple one. What do you get on the last one? Very good. You get angle, angle side. Good, good, good. Now, how many of you guys got only less than like 2 of those wrong? Good. How many of you guys got less than like 4 of those wrong? Or like only like 4? That's still really good, guys. That's really good. All right? That's what you want to be able to do. Just identify stuff through. Because like I said, as we get into this more, you're going to be able to actually write down and use the proof stuff. Yes, ma'am?
415.
Yeah.
Side angle. It doesn't have to be angle.
Isn't that the same thing backwards?
Yes.
Would it
How
be
does that work?
would it be terribly wrong if you wrote side angle angle? It wouldn't be. I wouldn't be wrong.
Okay.
We just call it angle angle side. That's all. The whole whopping no. Because if you follow it through, you have a side angle and a side, but on the other side you have side side angle. They don't match up. Okay. And then yesterday's fun.
The important thing you guys had to do though was mark your diagram.
It's
And you mark your
so
diagram
important.
only with what is given. You don't assume anything, right?
Because then you make an angle side side out of you and me.
Ah, okay.
This worksheet is so important to be able to follow through on, because this is what all of the proof things that we're going to start on today are going to look like. You're going to be given information, and you're going to have a diagram, and you're going to have to mark it to figure out where you're going with it. So the idea here is that if we get being able to mark things up, thank you. If we go through and start learning how to mark things up, it's going to be so much easier to write things down in a proof. Yeah, Whiskey?
Well, we're all on number 1, not number 2.
We did number 1 in class yesterday.
You did?
Yep.
No, we didn't.
Yes, we did.
Yeah, you
AB.
did 1 and 2 on the video.
Oh, okay. Then I'll go to 3.
Because
Hey,
three
Doc.
people made assumptions
Thanks.
about things.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
We appreciate it.
And now you guys must
You guys,
stay.
number 3, everybody, first thing you did was you put right angles down there.
Do you see any right angles, ladies and gentlemen?
Put a lot.
Nope.
Do you see anything that says anything about being perpendicular?
Yep.
No. Can you write it down then? No. You have to go by what's given. D is the midpoint of AC. Okay? Boom, boom. My progression sheet. Have your progression sheet up too real quick, guys. Make sure you have that.
Midpoint of whatever. Now, we would make the side.
What's that?
Okay, so use midpoint of ABC.
Yeah.
Since there was no considered, we marked it.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's the idea. Because according to your progression sheet, we all know that a midpoint creates 2 congruent segments. Mark the diagram. Now you know what segments they are. That's the idea. After that, you went to the next given. AB and BC are the same. So right now, here's what I'm going to start to ask you guys to do. You have 2 sides in a row. You have 2 sides in a row, which means if I'm looking at my alphabet soup, if I have 2 sides, the only thing that I can do is find a third side or find an angle in between them. So can I find a third side that's the same, or can I find an angle that's between the 2 sides? The third side. That's how you're able to decipher which one to use. Write down what you know right away. You know you have 2 sides, make 2 S's. And then ask, can I find an angle between them, or can I find a side after them? Well, there you go. Here's your side because it's reflexive. And you get side, side, side. That's the idea. Does that make sense? That's a great trick to remember. It's a great trick to remember. Write down what you know right away. Yes, ma'am.
Couldn't you put like the 290 angles?
Do you see 90-degree angles?
No.
Yes, but it's telling us.
Do you see 90-degree
Did they
angles?
tell you that it was 90 degrees?
No, you can't assume it.
I see two.
How would you use the number one?
Oh, no, but number one, it said that a segment was perpendicular to a segment. And the definition of perpendicular means that I'm gonna have right angles one.
Here it doesn't give you that, so you can't assume that. You can't just say it. Otherwise, Hannah, what are we going to make out of you and me?
Ass.
4, you've got parallels again. AB is parallel to DC. I mark it. Which means with the diagonal, I get alternate interior angles there.
Could you mark your other alternate interior angle at the same time?
Can I?
If I
Take a look here, because if this is the two parallel lines,
Oh, okay.
if I do that, the angle would have to come all the way back up.
Oh, okay.
So what happens,
You
you,
tell me that the other set are parallel as well.
correct. You'd have to have the other side of parallels to make the secondary angle work. Here you only have one set of angles that work because of the parallel lines. But then you're given that you have right angles at A and right angles at C. So now I have an angle and an angle, which means I have to find a side between them or a side after them. And I'm using, what was that? Reflexive, excellent. Which gives me angle, side, angle. It's either going to be between it or after it. Or, I'm sorry, it was it.
Yeah.
I was seeing the diagram and thinking, oh, it's between them. Yes, it's angle, angle, side, excuse me. Thank you.
And I thought you were supposed to be the teacher.
I'm sorry, Whiskey. I do make mistakes. I'm human.
Oh.
Dang.
Now
I'm
you-
not a cyborg.
Man, I wish you were. At least,
Domo arigato.
at least it would be fun then.
Drop the paper, Whiskey.
Dang.
It's bacon.
Where are we at? Here we go. Hey, look! It's a bow tie problem. What's going to happen in between the two?
We get out early.
What is a vertical angle?
You're going to have some vertical angles. Very good. So I know that I have a midpoint of AD, so these two guys are the same. I have a midpoint of BC. These two guys are the same. And lo and behold, there is a dun, dun, which is over right now. We have a side and a side. Very good. That's how it works, guys. That's how it works.
SAS.
Stay off your phone.
I know you're not talking straight.
This is better practice. This is going to help you guys get into being able to do the other stuff. It really will. Okay, AD bisects an angle. So when you bisect an angle, you get two congruent angles. That's on your progression sheet. As soon as you have an angle bisector, you know you have two congruent angles. Mark it.
And remember, the middle letter is the vertex. That's the angle that we're talking about.
Now you have angle B and C are the same. So as of right now, oops, this up. We have two angles, which means I need to find a side between them or a side after them. What do we have? Reflexive. Is that a decent trick to be able to put them off to the side? Does that help?
Yeah.
No.
Because then all you're doing is asking, is it between or is it after? We only got two left. And we're gonna take a couple minutes on the new one. Oops, I didn't go through. This one's really easy.
What?
Shh, guys. This one's really easy. You have a bisector at A and a bisector at C. So you've got two sets of angles already set up.
But you gotta know the vocabulary, right? You know what bisect means.
Correct.
What is a bisect?
Do you have a side between them or a side after them? Between them, because it's reflexive. Okay. Yay. And last but not least. Now this one's going a little bit further than what you guys probably remember. And I don't know if we're going to go this crazy on anything that we do, but what do you know about a square?
They both have right angles.
All the sides are the same. And what else do you know? They're all 90 degrees.
Which adds up to 360.
So what do you have right away? You have side, side, side because the reflexive, correct. But what's another way you can do it? You have side angle side. What's another way you can do it? Hypotenuse leg. There's a bunch of different ways, depending upon how you wrote it up. I don't think I'm ever going to give you guys anything that's going to tell you that something is a square or something is a parallelogram because we haven't defined it. You can do that, but you can get right angles, but they don't know that it bisects and all that stuff. So I'm not going to worry so much about giving you a shape yet. Okay? So let's make this more interesting.
What? I thought it was already interesting.
You rip the Band-Aid off or
No.
Said you already got some.
How do you know? Have you been there my whole life?
Exactly.
Alright.
Point. Yes, I have. I've been there. See, on the secret agent from the way I've been shouting.
No, thank you. So let's start with this. Some good old-fashioned fill-in-the-blank stuff. And I believe
You can't keep things secret. This is like a girl. Girls can't keep things secret.
what I want to look at today. Thank you.
Which one? Which one? This? This?
I gave that back.
This? Oh.
Some more proofs.
Hey.
So today, what we have for you guys today is going to be 4 fill-in-the-blanks. Okay? Obviously, don't worry about the bottom picture that says number on 4-3 where it says picture frame. I don't care about that one. Don't worry about it. Okay, bless you. But what this is doing is this is taking what you guys have done the past few days one little step further. Now, it is going to be extremely important that you have your progression sheets in front of you because this is telling you what's been marked down in the diagram, and then you need to figure out what's the next step. So I know that yesterday we did a start of a square about look for a reflexive side. And we called it a shared shape. A shared side. And we had a diagram, I think, in there where it looked kind of like this. And I'm just going to call that AC. Now, I asked that you guys saved a little bit of space on your sheet so that way you know what to write down and approve. So let's do an example. I would say this. AC congruent AC, and the reason is reflexive. That's what it looks like. That's how you state it. Okay? If you're going to mark your diagram with a shared side, that reflexive side, which we've done a ton of, how do you put that into proof? Just like that. Now it's legal. Now it's there. Yes, ma'am.
Would it be the same if there's like AC is congruent?
That would be symmetric. Because it's there and back. Always go with same letters. Because this happens. Guys. Now, notice in this proof, you've got AB is congruent to CD because it is given. BC is congruent to AD. Guys, cut it out, please. Put it back. All right, put it back. BC is congruent to AD because it is given. In your diagram, things have been marked. Right now you have two sides, which means you have to find an angle between them or a side, another side. What is there? Reflexive side. So they marked it and said AC is congruent to AC because it is reflexive. That's what that does. Now that means it's in play. You can use it now. We've marked it. We know it's marked because it's reflexive. So why are the two triangles congruent? What is the only thing that's different between what you're doing today than what we've done the past 2 days? Is that you're writing down the reason that you marked your diagram. That's it. That's all it is. It usually is. I told you guys, as you get into triangles, everything kind of opens itself up because you've kind of gotten through all the crappy stuff. Yes, ma'am?
Is the last one always going to be like side by side or side angle side?
That's the great question because they're asking you to prove the two triangles are congruent. The only way you can prove triangles are congruent is with one of these five. So yes, it'll be one of those for right now. Next week, after we show that the triangles are congruent, we're going to be able to say that angle B is congruent to angle D in this diagram because of one extra step. So for right now, the only way you can prove triangles congruent is one of these five. And it starts with being able to mark your diagram, write down what you already have as far as sides and angles where things have to get placed, and finish it. So now you have 3 to go. Finish it.